Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac High School Softball Game of the Week. I'm Steve Wilson tonight, coming to you live from the campus of Cocoa High School, where the Tigers from Cocoa play host to the Tigers from Holy Trinity in girls softball action. We are moments away from the first pitch. Beautiful evening in Cocoa, Florida. Light breeze blowing out to center field, so if you do muscle up on one tonight, there's a chance of putting it over the fence. We have had a few home runs hit this year from both teams. Cocoa and Holy Trinity will go down the starting lineup. First tonight with the visitors from Holy Trinity, batting first, playing shortstop, number 7, Talia Douglas. Batting second, playing third base, number 13, Claire Connolly. Batting third, doing the pitching, number 14, Allison Roach. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 12, Alyssa Tugas. Batting fifth for Holy Trinity, doing the catching, number 24, Casey Cohen. Batting sixth, playing right field, number 4, Dominique Russo. Batting seventh, playing center field, number 11, Danielle Farinella. Batting eighth for the Tigers, left fielder, number 23, Claire Jackring. And batting ninth, number 1, playing second base, Isabella Tomasura. Those are the starters tonight for the Holy Trinity Tigers, coached by John Clarkson.
Leading off for Holy Trinity in the top of the first inning, number 7, Talia Douglas.
Talia Douglas steps into the batter's box for the Holy Trinity Tigers. She'll be facing Mayanna Robinson of the Cocoa Tigers. Douglas hitting from the right side, one of the top softball players in Brevard County without question. Comes into tonight's contest hitting a rather lofty 600, leading the Tigers from Holy Trinity in every category except for one, and that is triples. Douglas looks at the first pitch in the dirt, ball 1. First pitch is at 6:01 p.m. Right-handed pitcher Mayanna Robinson in the circle tonight for the Cocoa Tigers. Calls strike, evens up the count at 1-1. We'll go around the horn defensively for the Cocoa Tigers. In left field, Alyssa Murphy playing center field. Pitch by Robinson. Line drive, base hit down the third base, past the third baseman into left field. Douglas at least 2. She'll have a stand-up double to lead off tonight's ball game. Once again, she is a player, but playing center field for the Cocoa Tigers, Reagan Hughes over in right field.
Now batting for the Tigers.
Allie Clemens around the horn. Third baseman Chelsea Miller. Shortstop Abby Sullivan. Second baseman Kira Davis. First baseman for the Cocoa Tigers, Corey Maxner. The battery tonight behind home plate, Maddie Lawson, and as I mentioned in the circle, number 19, Mayanna Robinson. Claire Connolly steps in for the Holy Trinity Tigers, shows bunt. She bunts the ball down the third base side. Third baseman lets it roll foul. Nice play by Chelsea Miller, the third baseman for the Cocoa Tigers, to let that one go foul. Trying to advance Douglas over to third base is Claire Connolly. So it'll be a no ball and 1 strike count on the Holy Trinity third baseman. Infield in just a little bit. The corner is maybe 3 or 4 feet, so not as much as you would think. That pitch low, attempting to steal third is Douglas, and she is out. Trying to take the base at third base. Nice throw by the catcher from Cocoa High School, Maddie Lawson, to nail Douglas, trying to steal third base. So there's 1 out in the top of the first inning. Claire Connolly about ready to step back into the batter's box. Here's the pitch by Robinson. Swings through that pitch, does Connolly. On deck for the Holy Trinity Tigers, Allison Roach. 2 ball, 1 strike pitch. Coming up on Connolly. That ball out of the zone. No runners on base. Talia Douglas leads off the ball game with a double. Caught trying to steal third base. Pitch by Robinson. Foul straight back. Should have run the count full. Scoreboard balls and strikes not working tonight. The runs, innings, and outs are working. Connolly steps back in from the left side. Now the count is run full to Claire Connolly. Once again, Allison Roach. On deck behind her, Alyssa Tugas. batting in the number 4 slot for the Holy Trinity Tigers. Ground ball down the third base side, foul. Count remains full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Claire Connolly will be looking at a full count pitch from Robinson. Foul straight back again. Connolly is making Mayanna Robinson work. We are early in this contest, top of the first inning. No score yet between the Holy Trinity Tigers and the Cocoa Tigers girls softball at its finest in Brevard County. Special Monday night edition of the Friday Night Locker Room. A well-hit ball to right field. Who charges it? Ball hits the ground. Clean base hit by Claire Connolly. Will put a Holy Trinity Tiger runner on first with 1 out.
14, Allie Roach.
That ball hit over the second baseman's head to the right of the right fielder. Good hustle by the right fielder from Cocoa. Allie Clemens did everything she could to get to the ball. Could not quite get to it, and that'll bring up Allison Roach, the pitcher for the Holy Trinity Tigers, hitting from the right side. First pitch call strike, no balls and 1 strike. Back-to-back base hits in this ball game for Holy Trinity. Talia Douglas thrown out at third base trying to steal. Ground ball pull foul down the third base side towards the Cocoa dugout. Number 14, Allison Roach, comes into tonight's contest hitting .333. She'll be doing the pitching tonight for Holy Trinity. Ball popped straight up right over my head. Thank goodness it wasn't too close. Flying solo tonight. My partner in crime, Orville Susong, has the night off once again. I don't know what that rascal is doing these days, but he has it made. Roach steps back into the batter's box. 2-strike pitch. Off-speed pitch hits Allison Roach. She'll walk to first base. That'll put Holy Trinity Tigers on first and second with 1 out
Now batting number 12,
in the top of the first inning. And we'll bring up the Tigers' first baseman, number 12, Alyssa Tugas. Claire Connolly on second base, Allison Roach, on first base. Tugas hitting from the right side. She comes into the contest tonight batting .450. One of the top hitters for Coach John Clarson's squad. First pitch strike, no balls and 1 strike on number 12. Once again, early in the game, top of the first inning, no score. Mayanna Robinson in the circle for the Tigers. Here's the pitch. That one's low, evens it up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners on first and second for the Tigers from Holy Trinity versus the Tigers from Cocoa. Pitch foul down the third base side. Count remains 1-1 on the Holy Trinity first baseman. It's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Tugas. Bounce in the dirt. Ball in the dirt. Nice stop by the catcher, Maddie Lawson of the Cocoa Tigers, evens it up at 2-2. Pitch from Mayanna Robinson. Low and away is run it full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tigers from Cocoa have really played solid softball this year. It's a team that has struggled the last few years. They seem to have turned things around. That ball out of the zone, ball 4. Alyssa Tugas will take a walk, and that'll load them up for the Holy Trinity Tigers, top of the first. Quick timeout called by Mike Lawson, head coach of the Cocoa Tigers. This timeout brought to you by Beef O'Brady's, State Road 524 in Cocoa. Sean O'Reilly and the whole gang at Beefs have always been big supporters of local sports, and the tie-in with the Friday Night Locker Room is a natural. The menu includes chicken, steak, and fish taco baskets, and, of course, wings. Thanks to Sean O'Reilly and Beef O'Brady's, State Road 524 in Cocoa. If you happen to be in the Cocoa area, head over to the Cocoa High School baseball field. They put up a new scoreboard today. 3 sponsors on the scoreboard: Beef O'Brady's, SpaceCoastDaily.com, and the Friday Night Locker Room. Good-looking scoreboard. We're going to post photos tonight. Great job by Sean O'Reilly of Beef O'Brady's putting this thing together. Was kind enough to allow the Friday Night Locker Room and Space Coast Daily to tag along. Sean and Beefs have been big supporters of what we've done a number of years, so it's a really neat looking scoreboard. We're anxious to get the photos out, and who knows, these things may be popping up all around the county. We're about ready to resume play. Casey Cohen steps into the batter's box. Bases full of Holy Trinity Tigers, one out in the top of the first. That first pitch just misses low, 1 ball and no strike on the Holy Trinity catcher. That ball eludes the strike zone, 2-0 quickly on Casey Cohen. You want to be patient. You just received a walk. Prior to that, a hit batsman, base hit, make the pitcher, make your opponent throw strikes, and she does on that one. Mayanna Robinson finds the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike on Casey Cohen. Dominique Rousseau on deck for Holy Trinity. Nice pitch right down the middle. Evens it up at 2-2. Still 1 out in the top of the first inning. Talia Douglas led off the top of the first with a double. She was picked off trying to steal third base. Pitch fouled out of play. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Casey Cohen. Nice evening in Cocoa. It's been a beautiful day in Brevard County. Temperatures hit about the mid-70s from what I understand. Sun going down. Probably going to get a little chilly tonight. Ground ball to third baseman. 1 run will score. They're going to credit a 5-3 putout, so give Casey Cohen an RBI. She grounds out to third baseman Chelsea Miller. Claire Connolly crosses home plate with the first run of this softball game. Now Holy Trinity with runners on second, third, and they're 2 out. Dominique Rousseau stepping in from the right side. Looks at the first pitch strike. No balls and 1 strike. Rousseau can do some damage. There have been 4 base runners in the first inning. 1 has scored. Base hit would drive in at least 1, possibly 2. That ball tipped straight back. Quickly in a hole is Rousseau. No balls and 2 strikes. Dominique Rousseau comes into the contest with a .455 on-base percentage. She knows how to get on base. Facing Mayanna Robinson. Pitch just a little low. Lawson, the catcher, calling for it. Outside ball drifted back towards the middle of the plate, but it was low. As was that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count even on Dominique Rousseau. 2 outs in the top of the first. Holy Trinity up 1-0 early in this game. Swing and a miss. Ball drops. She puts the tag on her, and she is out. So in the top of the first inning for the Holy Trinity Tigers, they come up with 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left. After 1/2 inning of play tonight, Holy Trinity won. Cocoa coming to bat. Once again, I'm Steve Wilson coming to you live from the campus of Cocoa High School. It's girls softball action. The Tigers from Cocoa versus the Tigers from Holy Trinity. Tonight's contest is brought to you in part by Knutson Brain Spine Injury Law Office. They provide representation for members of the public who have suffered head trauma or a brain or spinal cord injury. Knutson Brain Spine Injury Law Office is located in Rockledge at 830 Executive Lane, Suite 140. The phone number for Jim Knutson, 632-2722. We found out last game they like to play the music loud here. We can stop talking and let you listen to a little bit of music in between innings. But we're going to go around the horn defensively for the Holy Trinity Tigers tonight. In left field, Claire Jackring. In center field, that'll be Danielle Farinella. The right fielder tonight for Holy Trinity, Dominique Rousseau. Going around the horn in the infield, third baseman Claire Connolly. Shortstop, Talia Douglas. Second baseman, Isabella Tomasura. Playing first base for Holy Trinity, Alyssa Tugas. And the battery tonight for the Tigers from Holy Trinity doing the catching, Casey Cohen. And in the circle, number 14, Allison Roach. That is your defense tonight for the Holy Trinity Tigers.
Leading off for
Cocoa Tigers about ready to
Number 2, Abby
get things
Sullivan.
underway in the bottom of the first. Abby Sullivan will lead off the game for Cocoa. She wears number 2 and plays shortstop. She was Friday night locker room player of the game 2 weeks ago when the Tigers defeated Satellite. She, along with Chelsea Miller, were selected as our players of the game. Miller started pitching against Satellite 2 weeks ago. Tonight, Miller is starting third baseman. Abby Sullivan looks at the first pitch, 1 ball and no strikes. Once again in the circle tonight for Holy Trinity, number 14, Allison Roach. Nice pitch by Roach, evens it up at 1-1. First baseman in 5-6 feet, as is the third baseman for the Tigers. Shortstop and second baseman, maybe in about a step or two. Putting down a bunt. Is it going to get past the pitcher? No, it is not. A 1-3 put out. Nice play defensively by Allison Roach of the Holy Trinity Tigers. Abby Sullivan tries to sneak one by her on the first base side. Didn't quite get enough of it, so credit pitcher Allison Roach with the 1-3 put out. And that'll bring up tonight's third baseman wearing number 01, Chelsea Miller. Miller batting in the number 2 slot and hitting from the right side for the Cocoa Tigers. First pitch called strike, no balls, and 1 strike. Coach Mike Lawson in the third base box tonight for the Cocoa Tigers. Allison Roach ready for her second pitch. Lets up just a little bit. Nice off-speed pitch. Miller way out in front. Just gets a piece of it. Fouls it straight back. No balls and 2 strikes on the Cocoa Tigers third baseman. Good crowd on hand tonight. Holy Trinity brought a good crowd, as did the home Cocoa Tigers. Pitch by Roach. Line drive. Shortstop fielded cleanly. Nice play by Talia Douglas of the Holy Trinity Tigers. That ball was hit hard by Chelsea Miller right to her. So there's 2 outs now in the bottom of the first inning. That will bring up the Cocoa High pitcher wearing number 19, Myanna Robinson. Robinson once again hitting in the number 3 slot, hitting from the right side. That pitch, off-speed pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes. The lights are on in Cocoa. They're all working, so we're going to play ball. Allison Roach gets the signal from her catcher, Casey Cohen. Here's the pitch by Roach, just a little high. 2 balls and no strike on Robinson. On deck for the Cocoa Tigers, Alyssa Murphy. Pitch by Roach is out of the zone quickly. Ahead of the count, Myanna Robinson, the batter, 3 balls and no strikes. It has to be a perfect pitch for Robinson to swing at it, and she probably won't swing at it anyway. Pitch by Roach. Off speed, finds the zone. Nice pitch. Just let it up and threw a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike on Robinson. Holy Trinity up 1-0. We are in the bottom of the first inning. Call strike, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Robinson thought it was high. She throws her bat towards the third base side. So now the count is full on Myanna Robinson. Pitcher against pitcher. Robinson's going to have to regroup. She thought she had looked at ball 4. Here's the pitch. Foul down the third base side. Is it going to be out of play? It's going to drop to the ground in foul territory. Both Douglas, the shortstop, and the third baseman from Holy Trinity, Claire Connolly, gave the effort, did everything they could do to get to it just a little out of their reach. Count remains full, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Robinson. Pitch by Roach, let up, line drive off the glove of Douglas, a hard hit ball, base hit single by Myanna Robinson. The ball was hit well. Douglas went up as high as she could, got the top of her glove on the ball, but you have to credit Myanna Robinson with a base hit. So that'll put a Cocoa Tiger runner on first, as Robinson, the pitcher, is going to have a seat. We will have a courtesy runner in the person of Mackenzie Hoffman. 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. Tigers from Cocoa with a runner on first. They're down to the Holy Trinity Tigers 1-0 as Alyssa Murphy, the left fielder for Cocoa, steps into the batter's box, hitting from the right side. First pitch ball, 1 ball and no strikes on number 44. Murphy hitting in the cleanup spot tonight for Cocoa. Allison Roach's pitch, foul straight back. Got a piece of that one, but just missed it. 1 ball, 1 strike on Murphy. Kayla Anderson on deck for the Cocoa Tigers. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mackenzie Hoffman running at first for the Cocoa Tigers takes about 2 or 3 steps off after the pitch. Crosses home plate. She's not going anywhere. 1-2 count on Murphy. She has to protect. Anything close she has to go after. Off-speed pitch out of the zone evens it up at 2-2. Outfield shaded just a little bit to the left field. Ground ball, third base. Foul ball by about a foot. Good call by the umpire. The ball rolls inches foul as the third baseman picks it up. So all runner rather, that'll be Mackenzie Hoffman, goes back to first base. Alyssa Murphy will go back to the batter's box, retrieve her bat. One-two count on Murphy. Pitch by Roach. Foul straight back. Still 2 strikes on the Cocoa Tigers left fielder. Once again, she's going to have to protect with 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cocoa with a runner on first. Allison Roach in the circle for Holy Trinity. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Alyssa Murphy goes down on strikes, and the bottom of the first comes to an end. And so for the Cocoa Tigers in the bottom of the first, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left after 1 complete inning of play. The Holy Trinity Tigers won, the Cocoa Tigers nothing. Well, we hope you all went out to the port this past weekend. What a job Space Coast Daily did. Port Canaveral Music and Seafood Fest Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. What an incredible event put on by Giles Malone, Tom Palermo, Allison Malone. I can go on, but Space Coast Daily really did it right. Probably what impressed me as much as anything was the traffic flow. There were so many people out there. You could see it could easily have gotten to be a bottleneck, nowhere to park, nowhere to go, but it wasn't that way at all. It's crowded, and as many people enjoyed the event on Saturday. Went right to a parking spot, got out, right to the gate. Tremendous crowd, enjoyed the day. And another thing that I was very impressed with was the quality of the food. You know, oftentimes at events like that, you go out there not necessarily expecting the worst, but you don't expect, you know, real top flight food for whatever reason, whether it's sitting there for a while out in the open. But it was not that way. I ate there Friday night, I ate there Saturday, and just a really, really nice event. They did a terrific job, and my hope is that they're going to put this event on again next year, because I'm telling you, nobody does it like Space Coast Daily when it comes to event planning. I know without question they're on to the next event, whatever that is. We know that the Space Coast Sports Hall of Fame will be rapidly approaching. That's in May, but I know the guys are busy, I'm sure, putting something together. So we hope you were able to go out there and enjoy it. I know a lot of people did, because the place was packed for 3 solid days. As we move to the top of the second inning, once again, I'm Steve Wilson. It's the Cocoa Tigers and the Holy Trinity Tigers. Girls softball action at its finest. Danielle Farinella steps into the batter's box for Holy Trinity. First pitch out of the zone, 1 ball and no strike. Second pitch hits the plate quickly, 2-0 on Farinella. Farinella hitting in the number 7 slot. It'll be Farinella, Claire Jackring, and Isabella Tomasura down right field, fair or foul. It will be a foul ball, 2 balls and 1 strike on Farinella. She got a good piece of that one. Put it about halfway between the infield and the right fielder, maybe 10 feet foul down the right field side. Mayanna Robinson once again in the circle tonight for the Tigers. Here's her pitch, swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Robinson. evens it up at 2-2 on the Holy Trinity center fielder. That pitch high and away has run the count full to Farinella. Pitch by Robinson. Swing and a miss, strike three. Farinella goes down on strikes to start the top of the second inning. That'll bring up Holy Trinity left fielder number 23, Claire Jackring. Jackring comes into tonight's contest with a .300 on-base percentage. A lot of strong offensive numbers by the Holy Trinity Tigers. They're reaching base. They're hitting the softball this year. Call strike. No balls and one strike on Jackring. Nice pitch by Robinson. Outfield playing straight up. Infield back just a little bit. Swing gets just a piece of it, just enough to get into the mask of Maddie Lawson, the Cocoa Tigers catcher. Thank goodness for the catcher's mask. Robinson with the ball in the circle. Here's the pitch. Trying to get her to chase one outside. Good plate discipline by Claire Jackring. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jackring. Pitch by Robinson. Once again gets a piece of it and gets the mask of Maddie Lawson. Tough at bat for the catcher this go around. Maddie Lawson earning her stripes during this at bat. Jackring steps back into the box, hitting from the right side. Robinson's pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Jackring goes down on strikes. So now there are 2 outs in the top of the second inning. The third consecutive strikeout for Mayanna Robinson. She struck out Dominique Russo to end the first inning. And that'll bring up the Holy Trinity Tigers second baseman, number 1, Isabella Tomasura. Tomasura shows bunt. She pulls it back. That pitch high. 1 ball and no strikes. Good job by Tomasura. Oftentimes when these, especially at the high school level, you get the bunt signal. You're anxious to lay it down. You want to lay it down, but you got to remember it's all about bunting strikes. That pitch high, Tomasura held off on it. Swings through the center field, chasing it as fast as she can. Nice catch by the center fielder for the Cocoa Tigers on a well-hit ball. That's the flex player, Reagan Hughes. Records the put out. So there are 3 outs in the top of the second inning for the Holy Trinity Tigers in the top of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no runners left. After an inning and a half of play tonight, the Holy Trinity Tigers won, the Cocoa Tigers nothing. This portion of the Friday Night Locker Room is brought to you by Planet Fitness. They're located at Rockledge Plaza at 1802 U.S. Highway 1 in Rockledge. Planet Fitness has a 23,000 square foot facility with fitness equipment and cardio machines. The phone number 321-433-1331. Website keyword planetfitness.com. We'd also like to thank Tommy Eberhardt, the whole crew at Florida Master Temp. They're located at 3475 North Highway US 1 in Cocoa. Florida Master Temp is an authorized sales and service outlet for air conditioning systems, refrigeration equipment, ice making equipment, and machines. The office phone is answered 24 hours daily. The telephone, 321-639-3166. As we're about ready to move to the bottom of the second inning, it will be Kayla Anderson, Corey Maxner, and Allie Clemens for the Cocoa Tigers. They bat in the number 5, 6, and 7 slot, respectively. Holy Trinity jumped out to an early 1-0 lead. Talia Douglas led off the game with a double. She was erased trying to steal third base. Claire Connolly followed it up with a base hit. Allison Roach was hit by a pitch. Alyssa Tugas walked. It loaded the bases for the Tigers from Holy Trinity. Then Casey Cohen grounded out to third base, but it allowed Claire Connolly to cross home plate for tonight's one and only run up to this point. Now stepping into the batter's box for the Cocoa Tigers and wearing number 99, the designated player, Kayla Anderson. She looks at the first pitch, ball, 1 ball, and no strikes. Anderson swinging a miss, evens it up at 1-1. That one high. Anderson unable to lay off of it. Nice pitch by Allison Roach. She got her to chase one out of the zone. 1-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch. Way out in front is Kayla Anderson. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's exactly what you want a pitcher to do. Throw a fast one and then back off of it. 9 out of 10 times the batter is going to be out in front of it because they've just seen one with a little velocity. That pitch fouls straight back. Still 2 strikes on Kayla Anderson. Allison Roach now with the ball in her hand. Here's the pitch. Popped up to center fielder, back to her right, drifting, camps under it and makes the play. Nice play defensively by Danielle Farinella of the Holy Trinity Tigers. The ball was well hit by Kayla Anderson to the right of the center fielder, but we're going to call it a lazy fly ball put out. So there's 1 out in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and that will bring up first baseman number 4, Corey Maxner. Maxner hitting from the right side as well. Here's the pitch. Ground ball down the third base side, foul by about 4 feet. Quickly, Corey Maxner down, no balls and 1 strike. Allie Clemens on deck for the Cocoa Tigers. Ball thrown back into the pitcher, Allison Roach. Roach gets the sign from Casey Cohen. Here's the pitch. Nice pitch. Off-speed pitch, 2 strikes now on the Cocoa first baseman. Maxner steps right back into the batter's box. She's ready to swing. Here is the pitch. Off-speed pitch, line drive, base hit to left field. Maxner was able to stay back on that pitch and drive it to left field. So that'll put a Cocoa Tiger runner on first. With 1 out in the bottom of the 2nd, Holy Trinity up 1-0. And that'll bring up the Cocoa Tigers right fielder, number 26, Allie Clemens. Clemens hitting from the right side. Pitch by Allison Roach, high. 1 ball, no strikes on Clemens. Kira Davis on deck for the Cocoa Tigers. Coach Mike Lawson's Tigers have really played well this year. It's a team that is in the process of turning things around, squaring the bunt back to the pitcher. The sacrifice is going to work. Recorded as a 1-4 put out. 2nd baseman for Holy Trinity, Isabella Tomasura, covers first base. That will advance Corey Maxner over to 2nd base. So now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 2nd, but there is a Cocoa Tiger runner in scoring position. And that'll bring up the 2nd baseman, number 43, Kira Davis. Davis hitting from the right side as well. Cocoa Tigers loaded with right-handed hitters. Tonight, Cocoa Tigers down 1-0, bottom of the 2nd. Ground ball to Douglas at shortstop, fielded cleanly, fires it across the diamond, recorded as a 6-3 putout to end the bottom of the 2nd inning. So for the Cocoa Tigers in the bottom of the 2nd, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left after 2 complete innings of play tonight. The Holy Trinity Tigers 1, the Cocoa Tigers nothing. Once again, Steve Wilson coming to you live from Cocoa High School. My partner in crime, Orville Susong, decided to take the night off. I guess we'll let him do that every once in a while, not a problem. But full week coming up for the Friday Night Locker Room. We have a big baseball game coming up this Friday. The Eau Gallie Commodores traveling to Rockledge to take on the Raiders, the undefeated Rockledge Raiders. It's the once-beaten Eau Gallie Commodores. Their only loss this year, I believe, was to Vieira High School on a Sebastian Samuels walk-off base hit to win the game in extra innings. So Eau Gallie, one of the top teams in Brevard County. Rockledge Raiders, probably at this point you have to say they're as good as anybody. The Vieira Hawks have yet to lose a game. The Raiders are loaded. They're absolutely loaded, especially on the mound. They have 2 of the best pitchers in not only Brevard County, but I'm telling you, in the state of Florida and beyond. They have a a left-hander in Drew Parrish, already signed to play with Florida State next year. Their right-handed pitcher. Mason does still sign University of Miami pitcher. So you've got two pitchers on one high school team, a lefty and a righty. One's going to the Seminoles next year, one's going to the Hurricanes. Those are two top-flight baseball programs at the collegiate level. But it's not all about pitching. We all know you got to have the defense and you got to have the hitting. The teams in Brevard County are not going to lay down for the Rockledge Raiders, but I think we're going to have a good baseball game for you Friday night when the Eau Gallie Commodores come to Rockledge to take on the Raiders. We've got a good softball game going tonight. It's a Monday night special between a pair of Tigers, the Holy Trinity Tigers and the Cocoa Tigers. Holy Trinity scores one run in the top of the first. They're currently enjoying a 1-0 lead as we move to the top of the third inning. Holy Trinity back up to the top of their lineup. Talia Douglas led off the game with a double. She steps back into the batter's box. That pitch by Robinson low. 1 ball and no strike on Douglas. Enters the contest hitting .600. That's all she's doing, batting .600. She's 1 for 1 tonight with a double. Hard hit ball foul way out in front of it. She crushes it down the left field line over the, looks like the batting area, the warm-up area. The Cocoa Tigers use the batting cage, but a long, noisy strike, 1 ball and 1 strike on Douglas. Pitch by Robinson, kind of saws it off, a slow roller to short, picked up by Sullivan. Bang, bang play, out at first. Nice play by the Cocoa Tigers shortstop, Abby Sullivan. That will bring up third baseman, number 13, Claire Connolly. Connolly singled in the first inning, scored the only run of the ball game tonight when Casey Cohen grounded the ball to third baseman. She picked up a sacrifice. So Connolly's going to step in and hit from the left side. Pitch by Robinson, low and away, 1 ball and no strikes on the Holy Trinity third baseman. Infield, about normal depth. Creeping in just a little bit on the pitch is the third baseman, Chelsea Miller. That ball out of the zone, 2 balls and no strikes on Claire Connolly. Allison Roach on deck for the Holy Trinity Tigers. That ball just a little low. Connolly steps out, gets the sign from third base coach and head coach John Clarkson. Pitch by Robinson, foul, straight back. Good crowd on hand tonight between the Tigers from Cocoa and the Tigers from Holy Trinity. Mayanna Robinson's pitch might fall in for a base hit, and it does. Right over the head of the third baseman, hits the chalk behind the base. A seeing eye base hit for Claire Connolly. That's her second base hit of this contest. She's 2 for 2 tonight. That'll put a Holy Trinity Tiger on first with 1 out and bring up pitcher number 14, Allison Roach. Roach is going to have a quick word with head coach John Clarkson about halfway between the batter's box and the third base coaching box. Holy Trinity up 1-0. We're in the top of the third inning. If you look at favorite tonight, that ball in the dirt gets away from the catcher. A wild pitch advances Claire Connolly to second base. 1 ball, no strikes on Roach. On paper, you have to favor the Cocoa Tigers. Holy Trinity wins have been hard to come by, but they're hitting the ball. They're getting on base for whatever reason. That happens sometime, but they look impressive early in this contest. They're up over the Cocoa Tigers 1-0. Still early in the game, but it is the top of the third inning. Quick timeout call by the second baseman, Kira Davis. She tries to the mound to have a quick word with Mayanna Robinson, the pitcher for the Tigers. We're back underway. That pitch hits about a foot in front of home plate. Allison Roach was hit by a pitch in the first inning. She's 0 for 1 tonight. She got as far as third base. Robinson now set in the circle, ground ball, foul down the third base side towards the on-deck circle that the Cocoa Tigers occupy. Holy Trinity up 1-0 with a runner in scoring position at second base, 1 out in the top of the third. Here's the pitch calls strike. Nice pitch by Mayanna Robinson. Robinson once again gets the signal. That pitch out of the zone. Just a little low. Nice job by Maddie Lawson to keep that one. You got to keep everything in front of you. Do not allow Connolly to reach third. Ground ball to the pitcher. Going to third base with it. Trying to get the double play across the diamond. Out at third. All runners are safe. Nice play by the pitcher. Heads up play by Mayanna Robinson.
Now batting number 24, Casey Cohen.
And that'll bring up number 24, Casey Cohen. Umpire, they're having a little discussion here. Now they're going to say the throw beat the batter. So Alyssa Tugas, a little confusion. The umpires are going to hash things out here. Now they're going back. First they called Tugas safe, then they called her out. They called her safe again. So we know there are 2 outs. There are runners on the corners for the Holy Trinity Tigers, and we know that Casey Cohen is stepping into the batter's box. Pitch by Robinson, called strike. No balls and 1 strike. Allison Roach, your runner on third base. Connolly was forced out at third for the second out. No balls, 1 strike on the catcher, Casey Cohen. Pitch ground ball, foul down the first base side, about a foot away from causing some problems and possibly allowing Allison Roach to score. But it is a noisy strike. Cohen enters the contest tonight. She's hitting .333, leads the team in triples with 4. 2 outs. In the top of the third inning, Mayanna Robinson gets the signal from Lawson. Here's the pitch. She wants it outside. Misses the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Casey Cohen, the catcher for the Holy Trinity Tigers. Two and two. Allison Tugas advances to second base. No throw down by Lawson. So now the Tigers from Holy Trinity with runners on second and third. 2 out the top of the third. They're up 1-0, trying to add to their lead. Here's the pitch. Well hit to left field. Grabbed by the left fielder. She saved 2 runs. Terrific play by Alyssa Murphy. That one had base hit written all over it. The ball was hit well. Murphy goes about 6, 7, 8 steps to her right. Keeps the Tigers from adding to their 1-0 lead. So for Holy Trinity in the top of the third inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a couple of runners left after 2.5 innings of play tonight. The Holy Trinity Tigers 1, the Cocoa Tigers 0. We'd like to thank, of course, Al's Trophy Shop. Al's Trophy Shop has 2 Brevard County locations, one on Palm Bay Road in Palm Bay and the other on Cocoa and US 1 just north of the beach line. Al's Trophy Shop creates custom plaques and trophies. They are reached by phone at 636-6188. The wind has died down a little bit. It was blowing fairly briskly to start the game towards center field, but it's pretty much died down for the most part. Holy Trinity up 1-0 over the Cocoa Tigers. We would like to congratulate Coach Steve Henderson and the Holy Trinity Tigers making it all the way to the state finals in boys basketball this year. It's a feat that nobody thought they would be able to achieve. With only 1 senior on the club, that being Josh Porteous. But the Tigers did what they needed to do. They beat the teams they needed to beat. And I'm telling you, they put a scare into Jacksonville Bowls. I want to say it was a 1-point game going to the fourth quarter. Holy Trinity had a chance, but the height, I think, of Jacksonville Bowls finally wore out the Tigers. The shortest starter for Jacksonville Bowls was 6'3". The tallest starter for for Holy Trinity was 6 feet. Kaplan came off the bench at 6'3", but a distinct height advantage by the Bolles School. But great job by Holy Trinity boys basketball to reach the state finals this year. They are the second best team in the state of Florida, only behind the Bolles Schools out of Jacksonville. So we're about ready to move to the bottom of the third inning for the Cocoa Tigers. It'll be Maddie Lawson, Abby Sullivan, and Chelsea Miller hitting 1, 2, 3. That's the number 9, 1, and 2 batters for the Cocoa Tigers. They find themselves down to Holy Trinity 1-0. Maddie Lawson looks at the first pitch out of the zone, 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch by Roach, ground ball, foul down the third base side, evens it up at 1-1. High school softball at its finest tonight between the Cocoa Tigers and the Holy Trinity Tigers. No errors committed by either team up to this point. 1-0 pitcher's duel, so to speak. When the teams have needed the out, they've gotten the out. Off-speed pitch, line drive, off of the chest of Douglas, a well-hit ball, kind of a funny hop. One of those you can call either way. We're going to call it a base hit because it was a short hopper. It would have taken an above-average play by Douglas to make the play, so we're going to credit Maddie Lawson with a base hit. That'll put a Cocoa Tiger run on first with nobody out in the bottom of the third. They're down 1-0, and now they're back up at the top of their lineup with Abby Sullivan stepping into the batter's box. Squares to bunt, puts it down third base. Great bunt by Sullivan. Ball thrown away at first base. Lawson's going to go third. They're going to send her home. The throw to the pitcher's mound. We're all tied up. Now Sullivan trying to reach third. She reaches third. Maddie Lawson circles the bases. It was a nice bunt by Abby Sullivan. The ball was thrown away, so it was a bad throw. Sullivan's going to reach on an error. She goes all the way to third base. The bunt by Sullivan went right down the third base line, perfectly placed. She was going to be out, but it was going to advance Lawson. Now all of a sudden, Abby Sullivan standing on third base. The Cocoa Tigers have tied it up 1-1, and Chelsea Miller steps into the batter's box for Cocoa. 1 ball and no strikes. Chelsea Miller 0 for 1 tonight. She hit the ball hard in the first inning. She lined out to Leah Douglas, the shortstop for Holy Trinity. Quick timeout called by Coach Mike Lawson. He wants to have a word with Miller. Make sure they're all on the same page. Holy Trinity scores the first run of the game tonight in the top of the first. The Cocoa Tigers have tied it up in the bottom of the third inning. Maddie Lawson reaches first base on a hard hit ball to the shortstop, and then Abby Sullivan tries to advance her to second, laying down a nice bunt at third base. The ball was thrown past the first baseman in the dirt. That allowed Lawson to circle the bases and score, and eventually put Abby Sullivan on third base. So now the Cocoa Tigers 60 feet away from taking the lead. Miller steps back into the batter's box. Well hit ball to right field. It's going to drop in the hole for a base hit. Chelsea Miller singles home Abby Sullivan. Just like that, the Cocoa Tigers have taken a 2-1 lead.
Now batting 119, Mayana Robinson.
Probably wasn't the hardest hit ball that Chelsea Miller has hit all year, but it went right where it needed to be, over the first baseman's head, short of the right fielder. In fact, her first at bat, which was an out, was hit much harder to the shortstop. And that'll bring up Mayana Robinson, the pitcher for the Tigers. Ground ball to third baseman, fielded cleanly. Nice throw by third baseman Claire Connolly. That will advance Chelsea Miller to second base. There is, however, 1 out now in the bottom of the third inning. Record that one as a 5-3 putout, and that'll bring up the Cocoa Tigers left fielder, number 44, Alyssa Murphy. Murphy made a real nice play defensively in the top of the third to end the inning. Looked like maybe a base hit. Ground ball to Douglas, backhanded it, knocked it down, throws across the diamond, off the base. All runners are safe. Miller unable to advance because the ball was hit to the shortstop side. Quick timeout called by Mike Lawson. He's going to have a word with the Umpire not sure why the throw by Douglas. It was a backhanded play. Nice job by Douglas to get to the ball. She throws it high across the diamond. Murphy reaches first base, but they're going to call. Now there's some confusion. The umpire looks at first base, calls Murphy out, then he shakes his head no and calls her safe. That's the second time he's done that tonight. It appears that both runners will be safe. Cocoa Tigers with a runner on first and second. 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. It's a 2-1 Cocoa lead. And that'll bring up designated player number 99, Kayla Anderson. Still not quite sure what that was all about, but Miller now standing on second. Murphy standing on first. A well-hit ball in the gap between right field and center field. Miller's going to easily score. Right on her tail is Murphy, and she'll score a stand-up triple by Kayla Anderson. Ball placed perfectly between the right fielder and center fielder. 2 RBIs for Anderson. Miller scores from second. She had to hold up just to make sure the ball fell. Murphy was right behind her and chased her all the way home. So now all of a sudden we have a 4-1 Cocoa lead with Corey Maxner about ready to step into the batter's box. Maxner 1 for 1 tonight. She singled in the first inning. Here's the pitch by Roach, called strike. No balls and 1 strike. Holy Trinity did everything they could to get to the ball. It was just a well-hit ball by Kayla Anderson. Maxner hitting from the right side. Slow roller to third base. Fielded, bobbled, picked it up. All runners are safe, breaking for home. She is safe, she being Kayla Anderson. She's going to score the 5th run of this ball game for the Cocoa Tigers in the 5th run of this inning. It was a slow roller to the third baseman. Connolly couldn't quite pick it up on the first hop. That's all that Maxner needed to reach first base. So that'll put a Cocoa Tiger runner on first base with 1 out in the bottom of the third inning and bring up the right fielder, number 26, Allie Clemens. Allison Roach with the ball in her hand in the circle. First pitch high, snap throw to first base. Getting back safely is Corey Maxner. 3 base hits in this inning for the Cocoa Tigers: Lawson, Miller, and Anderson. Allison Roach has gone all the way tonight in the circle. A line drive to center field, deep, but caught and dropped by the center fielder. It was in her glove and popped out. Now the Tigers are going to advance 2 bases. That'll put Allie Clemens on second base. Corey Maxner goes all the way to third base.
Now batting number 43. On
the drop fly ball. Sometimes when it rains, it pours. Unable to make the plays defensively this half inning are the Holy Trinity Tigers. And it will put Cocoa Tiger runners on second and third. Still only 1 out. And bring up the number 8 batter, second baseman number 43, Kira Davis. Timeout call by Casey Cohen, catcher for the Holy Trinity Tigers. She's going to have a word with pitcher Allison Roach. Now they're about ready to break that conversation. Kira Davis can step into the batter's box, do more damage. The Cocoa Tigers have scored 5 runs in the bottom of the third inning. They came into this inning down 1-0, currently up 5-1. Davis, the number 8 hitter. First pitch in the dirt, gets past the catcher, scoring easily from third base will be Corey Maxner with the 6th run of this inning. Allie Clemens slips over to third base, and now the Tigers with a runner on third and 1 out. 1 ball, no strikes on Kira Davis. That ball's high, 2-0 on Davis. Maddie Lawson on deck for the Cocoa Tigers. Big inning for Cocoa. Holy Trinity still not out of it. Only 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the pitch by Roach. Just a little inside. 3 balls, no strikes on the Cocoa Tigers' second baseman. Davis is 0 for 1 tonight. She ground out to the shortstop to end the first inning. To end the second inning, rather. That pitch outside Davis, looks at ball 4.
Now batting number 10, Maddie Lawson.
That'll put runners on the corners for the Tigers. Runners on first and third, 1 out. And bring up the Tigers catcher wearing number 10, Maddie Lawson. Lawson 1 for 1 tonight. She singled and scored to lead off this inning, this inning being the third inning. She shows bunt, brings it back. Stealing second base, is Kira Davis. Going nowhere at third is Allie Clemens. So now the Cocoa Tigers with runners on second and third. No balls, 1 strike. That was a nice pitch by Roach. Ground ball to first baseman. It's going to be a close play at first. And she is out. 1 run does cross home plate. So the Tigers pick up another run. Credit Maddie Lawson with an RBI.
Now batting number
Has a
2,
3 unassisted. It was a slow roller to the first base side. Allie Clemens scores easily. Kira Davis moves over to third base. And now, for the second time this inning, Abby Sullivan steps into the batter's box. Cocoa up now 7-1. Pitch by Roach. Line drive, base hit. 1 run will score for the Tigers. It's 8-1. Sullivan stops at first. She puts it right over the head of the second baseman. So credit Abby Sullivan with an RBI single.
Now batting.
And that will bring up number 01, Chelsea Miller. She's 1 for 2 tonight. She's 1 for 1 in this inning. She lined out to the shortstop in the first inning. She singled, had an RBI, and scored a run earlier in this inning. Well hit ball by Miller. It might be in the gap, and it is. Sullivan on her horse. She's going to go all the way around and score from first base standing up. Chelsea Miller with a stand-up double and an RBI. Miller now 2 for 3 on the game tonight.
Now batting number 19, Mayana Robinson.
Cocoa up 9-1. The wheels have come off, so to speak, for the Holy Trinity Tigers. Cocoa's hitting the ball and hitting it hard here in the bottom of the third inning. His pitcher, Mayana Robinson, is about ready to step into the batter's box for the Cocoa Tigers. Call strike, no balls, and 1 strike. Robinson 1 for 2 tonight. She singled in the first inning. She ground out to the third baseman earlier in this inning. Pitch by Allison Roach, off-speed pitch. Does not find the zone. Robinson steps back into the batter's box. Swing and a miss. She goes through it, anxious, breaking for third, and stealing third base is Chelsea Miller. So now the Tigers from Cocoa with a runner on third and 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. Sometimes that third out is hard to come by. Little field maintenance. As we speak, the third base bag pops out. Coach Mike Lawson doing a little repair. This repair job by Coach Lawson brought to you by Space Coast Tire. They're an automotive repair service located at 1732 South Huntington Lane in Rockledge. Batteries, tires, brakes, oil drums, alignments, and more. The phone number for Space Coast Tire, 321-639-4008. Repairs are completed. We're about ready to get this game back underway. Douglas has a quick word with Roach on the mound, on the circle. I knew I was going to say it one time tonight, in the circle now. Everybody's back to their positions. About ready to resume play. Foul ball down the first base side. Good swing by Mayana Robinson, just a little late. Good pitch by Allison Roach. Robinson steps back into the batter's box, hitting from the right side. Pitch by Roach. Tapped over the head of the pitcher. It's going to be a tough one. Nice play by Douglas to cross the back of the diamond. 6-3 put out. The shortstop by Holy Trinity looking sharp defensively on that play. But for the Cocoa Tigers, in the bottom of the third inning, they pick up 9 runs on 5 hits. 3 errors, and 1 runner left on base. After 3 complete innings of play, tonight it's the Cocoa Tigers 9 and the Holy Trinity Tigers 1. Once again, this is a special Monday night edition of the Friday Night Locker Room. Steve Wilson coming to you live from the campus of Cocoa High School. The Battle of the Tigers, the Cocoa Tigers and the Holy Trinity Tigers. Girls softball tonight, baseball this Friday. Our partners in crime, Anthony and Allen, will be covering girls softball Friday. They have Sebastian River visiting Melbourne in a softball contest. So we'll have 2 games coming at you this Friday. Both games can be heard live on SpaceCoastDaily.com. That's SpaceCoastDaily.com. Baseball game starts at 7 o'clock, and I believe the softball game starts at 7 as well. I'll have to verify that. You can check out our Facebook page, facebook.com, Friday Night Locker Room. We'll give you the start times of both games, although I know the baseball game starts at 7. I better know it because that's the one we're doing. But I'm not quite so sure about the softball game that Anthony and Allen will be covering. But tough inning for the Holy Trinity Tigers. They went into the bottom of the 3rd up 1-0. Bang, 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 bang. All of a sudden it's 9-1 Cocoa Tigers up. Mayanna Robinson is returning to the circle for the Cocoa Tigers. So Holy Trinity just needs to regroup. They need to kind of punch away one at a time. There's no rush, no time limit. Swing at strikes, make your opponent put you out, and that's what you do when you're down a large deficit like that. You can't look at the scoreboard. You can't say, I got to have 8 runs this inning. You just got to take it, the old saying, 1 pitch at a time, 1 batter at a time. That's really what it comes down to in a game like this. As we're about ready to move to the top of the 4th inning for the Holy Trinity Tigers, it will be Dominique Russo, Danielle Farinella, and Claire Jackring, the 1-2-3 batters. Russo steps in, ground ball to shortstop. Sullivan fields a 2-hopper. Nice throw by Abby Sullivan. 6-3 put out, 1 up, 1 down for the Holy Trinity Tigers in the top of the 4th inning. That will bring up the center fielder wearing number 11, Danielle Farinella. Farinella 0 for 1 tonight, struck out to lead off the 2nd inning. Pitch by Robinson, swing and a miss. No balls in 1 strike. Nice pitch by Mayanna Robinson. Ground ball back to the pitcher. She stays with it. Robinson 1-3 put out. Nice. The ball was well hit by Farinella right back to Robinson. Bobbled it for a split second, was able to regroup, regain her composure to record the 1-3 put out. So there are 2 quick outs in the top of the 4th inning, and that'll bring up the Holy Trinity left fielder, number 23, Claire Jackring. Robinson's first pitch in the zone, no balls in 1 strike. Jackring 0 for 1 tonight. She struck out in the 2nd inning. Comes into tonight's contest with a .300 on-base percentage. Not too bad. Fouled straight back. Got a piece of it. Now Robinson with the ball as Jackring steps back into the batter's box. Good eye by Claire Jackring. It was close. She didn't like it. The umpire didn't like it. Pitch just a little high. Once again, good plate discipline shown by Claire Jackring of the Holy Trinity Tigers. It's easy to be anxious when you're down, but you still have to swing at pitches in the strike zone. Once again, a close one, but umpire didn't like it. A good no call. 3 balls and 2 strikes count his run full to the Holy Trinity left fielder. Robinson 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. That one's low, ball 4. Claire Jackring will walk to first base. Looks like they're going to make a change of some sort. Amelia Anello putting a helmet on. Let's see if she's going to run or hit. She's going to run. So number 3, Amelia Anello will run in place of Claire Jackring at first base. Isabella Tomasura will step into the batter's box for Holy Trinity.
Now batting number 1, Isabella Tomasura.
Tomasura 0 for 1 tonight. She flew out to center field in her first at bat. Here's the pitch. Low, 1 ball and no strikes on Tomasura.
First, Amelia Anello.
Tomasura hitting in the number 9 slot. If she can get on base, keep this thing going, Holy Trinity will be back up to the top of their lineup. Here's the pitch. That's just a little low. 2 balls and no strikes on Tomasura. Tomasura playing second base tonight for Holy Trinity. She's entering the game with a .333 on base percentage. Lays down a bunt. First baseman fields it, flips it to the second baseman covering first base, recorded as a 3-4 put out. So for the Holy Trinity Tigers, in the top of the 4th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left after 3.5 innings of play. The Cocoa Tigers 9, the Holy Trinity Tigers 1. Once again, we'd like to thank Community Bank of the South. They have 3 locations, one at 277 North Sykes Creek Parkway in Merritt Island, one on State Road 524 in Cocoa, and the other at 1902 South Fisk Boulevard in Rockledge. Community Bank of the South provides personal banking, online banking, business banking, commercial and residential loans, and other service. Community Bank of the South is an equal housing lender and FDIC insured. The website, cposdirect.com. We'd also like to thank DeCandio and Associates Allstate Insurance. They have 2 locations, one in Port St. John at 950 Fay Boulevard, and the other at Mims at 3239 North Highway US 1. For auto, home, life investments, disability, plus boats, motorcycles, 4-wheelers, or renters insurance, Jennifer DeCandio, Agency Principal and Associates, Allstate Insurance. Steve Wilson coming to you live from the campus of Cocoa High School. It's the Cocoa Tigers 9, the Holy Trinity Tigers 1. Girls softball action as we're about ready to move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Alyssa Murphy waiting patiently to step into the batter's box. Murphy 0 for 2 tonight. She reached on an error last inning and ended up scoring. So Murphy batting in the cleanup slot for the Cocoa Tigers. She'll lead off the bottom of the 4th inning and face Allison Roach, who continues to be in the circle for the Holy Trinity Tigers. First pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes on Murphy. Kayla Anderson on deck. Corey Maxner in the hole here in the 4th inning. Murphy hitting from the right side. You can't miss her. She's got a bright green helmet and a bright green bat. She swings at one end, her eyes. She shakes her head knowing she should not have swung at that one. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Cocoa Tigers left fielder, pitch by Roach. Off-speed pitch is going to be popped up. Douglas calls it behind the third baseman and makes the put out. Nice play by Talia Douglas.
Now batting number 99.
So that'll
Anderson.
bring up the designated player tonight for the Cocoa Tigers wearing number 99. That's Kayla Anderson. Anderson 1 for 2 tonight. She had a triple in the 3rd inning, had 2 RBIs. Big base hit by Anderson. Slow roller down to third base. First, the pitcher picks it up. She throws. It's close. They're going to call an infield hit. Not a bad play by Allison Roach, the pitcher. It was a slow roller to third base. Roach picks it up about halfway between home plate and third base, makes the throw. The speed of Kayla Anderson allows her to beat out the slow roller. So now Anderson's 2 for 3 tonight. And that'll bring up first baseman number 4, Corey Maxner. Tigers from Cocoa with a runner on first, call strike, no balls and 1 strike. Cocoa with a runner on first, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cocoa up 9-1 over Holy Trinity. This is a district contest between these two squads. One of the larger districts in the area. The ball fouled down the left field side. Cocoa and Holy Trinity are in a district with Astronaut, Cocoa Beach, Melbourne Central Catholic, Satellite, Space Coast, and Titusville. An 8-team district, Class 5A District 9. Maxner steps back into the batter's box. Off of her fist, foul down the first base side. Good hustle by the Tigers trying to get to that one. That's Casey Cohen, the catcher, and the first baseman for Holy Trinity, Alyssa Tugas, running as hard as they could in foul territory to get to it, unable to get to the ball as it hits the ground. So Maxner steps back into the batter's box. Pitch, let up pitch out of the zone. Once again, Cocoa Tigers 9, Holy Trinity Tigers 1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Corey Maxner waiting patiently, ball foul straight back, hits the top of the net. Casey Cohen snags it on the rebound off of the net, but unfortunately this is not arena football, so that's just a strike. 2 strikes on Corey Maxner. Umpire points at Roach and says, let's play ball. Off-speed pitch, reaches for it. Line drive, base hit over the head of Douglas, the shortstop. Maxner really reached out in front of that one. Somehow or another got enough aluminum on it to record her second base hit of the night. And that'll put Cocoa Tiger runners on first and second with 1 out. And bring up right fielder number 26, Allie Clemens. Clemens 0 for 2 tonight. She did reach in the 3rd inning off of an error and eventually scored. Pitch just a little low, 1 ball and no strikes on Clemens. Kira Davis on deck for the Cocoa Tigers. Allison Roach has gone all the way tonight in the circle for the Holy Trinity Tigers, has thrown a lot of strikes, and that's what you want to do. You want to throw strikes, allow your opponent to put the ball in play, make the plays behind you. They've made some of the plays, some they have not been able to. Clemens ready, nice pitch by Roach. Catches the corner. Had a little heat on that one, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Allie Clemens. Tigers up by 8 runs, 9-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Here is the pitch. Well hit ball in the gap between right field and center field. 1 run will score. Is Coach Lawson going to hold up? Yes, he is. Allie Clemens with an RBI double, scoring the 10th run of this contest for the Cocoa Tigers. Kayla Anderson easily scoring from second base. Corey Maxner goes all the way to third base. So now the Cocoa Tigers with runners on second and third. The second baseman, number 43, Kira Davis, about ready to step into the batter's box. Line drive, base hit by Davis. 1 run will trot home. The second run will score easily. Davis really hits the ball well. She's going to end up on second base. The right fielder unable to field it cleanly. So credit Davis with an RBI. 2 runs score. Maxner from third, Clemens from second. All of a sudden, it's a 12-1 Cocoa Tigers lead. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, still only 1 out. As a catcher for the Cocoa Tigers, Maddie Lawson walks to home plate with a bat in her hand. Lawson 1 for 2 tonight. She singled and scored in the 3rd inning, and she grounded out to the first baseman, but picked up an RBI in the 3rd inning as well. Roach gets her sign from Cohen. Here's the pitch. Line drive off the glove of the pitcher. All runners will be safe. A hard hit ball by Maddie Lawson. You have to credit her with a base hit because it was hit so hard. Kira Davis unable to advance to third. She wasn't sure if the pitcher, Roach, was going to be able to catch it or not. So now the Cocoa Tigers with runners on first and second and 1 out. Abby Sullivan steps back into the batter's box. Sullivan 1 for 3 tonight, leadoff batter for the Cocoa Tigers. Swings through the first pitch, no balls and 1 strike. Abby Sullivan has scored twice tonight. She had an RBI in the 3rd inning. Swings through the first pitch. 0-2 pitch coming by Allison Roach. It's high. Sullivan lays off of it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Chelsea Miller on deck for the Tigers. Miller's 2 for 3 tonight, swinging the bat well. Cohen puts down the side. Foul ball out of play down the right field side. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Cocoa shortstop. Outfield shaded slightly to the left. Center fielder about 7 or 8 steps towards the left field. Right field and left field are about playing normal positions. That pitch is high. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Abby Sullivan. Tigers up 12-0. Holy Trinity enter the bottom of the 3rd inning with a 1-0 lead, and it's been all Cocoa for the last inning and a half. Pitch by Roach, swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Allison Roach. Sullivan goes down on strikes for the 2nd out in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Chelsea Miller.
That will bring up number 01, 3rd baseman, Chelsea Miller. Miller 2 for 3 tonight with 2 RBIs. Her first at bat, she lined out to shortstop to Leah Douglas, but she hit it extremely hard. Probably her best contact of the night was an out. That pitch high over the head of the catcher. Both runners will move up 60 feet. So now the Cocoa Tigers with runners on 2nd and 3rd. In the person of Kira Davis standing at 3rd, Maddie Lawson on 2nd base. 1 ball and no strike to Chelsea Miller. Line drive base hit by Miller. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score. Chelsea Miller, a 2 RBI single, having a big time night for the Cocoa Tigers. Davis walks home from 3rd. The ball was hit so hard that Lawson was able to round 3rd and score. Nice job by the center fielder from Holy Trinity, Danielle Farinella, to get the ball in, but wasn't meant to be. 2 RBI single. So now Chelsea Miller with 4 RBIs on the night, and that'll bring up the Cocoa Tigers pitcher number 19, Myanna Robinson. Cocoa up 14-1. Off-speed pitch finds the zone. No ball and 1 strike on Robinson. Robinson hitting from the right side. Pitch by Roach. Foul ball down the right field side. Out of play, Myanna Robinson. 1 for 3 tonight. She singled in the 1st inning. She grounded out to 3rd base in the 3rd inning. And she grounded out to shortstop in the 3rd inning. Off-speed pitch call, strike 3. Myanna Robinson goes down on strikes to end the 4th inning. So for the Cocoa Tigers in the bottom of the 4th, they come up with 5 runs on 6 hits, 1 error, and 2 runners left. After 4 complete innings of play, the Cocoa Tigers 14, the Holy Trinity Tigers 1. And we'd like to thank our good buddy Jimmy Muscola, Jimmy's Restaurant. One Jimmy's Restaurant location is at 1279 Admiralty Boulevard next to Turtle Creek Golf Club, and the other one is on US 1 in Port St. John. So there are now 2 Jimmy's Restaurants. One Jimmy's Restaurant on US 1 serves breakfast all day long, and Jimmy's Restaurant by the golf course off of Barnes Boulevard in Rockledge at 1279 Admiralty Boulevard. And, of course, we'd like to thank our title sponsor, Mike Erdman Nissan Cadillac. Without the support of Mike Erdman Nissan Cadillac, Mr. Erdman, the whole crew, the Friday Night Locker Room would not be where we are today. They have been title sponsors for a number of years now, and they're the ones that allow us to do what we do. I normally would say each and every Friday night, but now we're doing multiple games throughout the week. But Micro-Urban Nissan Cadillac. They're located on the 520 Causeway in Merritt Island. They're an authorized sales and service outlet for new Nissan and Cadillac products, and they carry a line of used cars and trucks. The website, microurbanmotors.com. The telephone, 453-2050. And, of course, we'd like to thank Beefalo Brady's State Road 524 in Cocoa. Sean and the gang have always been big supporters of not only what we do, the Friday Night Locker Room, but of youth sports around the county. Big Cocoa High fans and supporters. They're in the city of Cocoa, so that's pretty much what you would expect. But they do a lot of good in the community that people don't know about. So we're about ready to move to the top of the 5th inning. Holy Trinity Tigers, Talia Douglas, Claire Connolly, Allison Roach will be the 1-2-3 batters. First pitch by the new pitcher of the night. That will be number 8, Mackenzie Hoffman, now in the circle. Call strike, no balls and 1 strike as she faces Talia Douglas. Foul, hard hit ball down the third base side. No balls and 2 strikes. Douglas hitting .600 coming into tonight's contest. She's 1 for 2. She doubled in the first inning. She grounded out to the shortstop in the third inning rather. Been watching Douglas for 5 years. She was a varsity starter as a 6th grader, which you're allowed to do by the FHSAA. That's the youngest you can play varsity softball. She was the starting third baseman for Holy Trinity. She's a junior this year, and I'm telling you, she is a good one. Douglas hitting from the right side. Claire Connolly on deck for Holy Trinity. The Cocoa Tigers up 14-1 in the top of the 5th inning. Off-speed pitch just misses the zone. Nice discipline shown by Talia Douglas. She could have easily swung at 1 out of the zone. That was close. Good job by Douglas. Mackenzie Hoffman in the circle. Her pitch, line drive to right field, hit so hard. A diving catch by the right fielder. A terrific play by right fielder Allie Clemens on a hard hit ball by Talia Douglas. She was robbed of probably a double. That's about as good as it gets defensively. So there'll be 1 out in the top of the 5th inning, and Claire Connolly now will step into the box hitting from the left side. Connolly's 2 for 2 tonight. She scored in the first inning, made it as far as second. Swings through the first pitch, no balls and 1 strike. Mackenzie Hoffman trying to close things out for the Cocoa Tigers. We're in the top of the 5th inning, 14-1 Cocoa. Here's the pitch. That ball is away, evens it up at 1-1. Allison Roach on deck for Holy Trinity. Mackenzie Hoffman, line drive, third baseman eaten up by a hard hit ball by Claire Connolly. We're going to credit Connolly with a base hit because it was hit so hard. If you ask third baseman Chelsea Miller, she's going to tell you she probably should have had it. But the way I look at it is if it takes an above-average play to make it, I always credit the batter with a hit. And it would have taken an above-average play by Miller. So Connolly is 3 for 3 tonight. Allison Roach now stepping in and hitting from the right side. That ball hits the foot of Allison Roach, so she'll walk to first base. Now the Holy Trinity Tigers with runners on first and second. 1 out in the top of the 5th inning. And that'll bring up the first baseman, number 12, Alyssa Tugas, one of the top hitters on the team. Came into tonight's contest hitting .450. She walked in the first inning. She reached by a fielder's choice in the third inning. First pitch strike, no balls and 1 strike on Alyssa Tugas. Holy Trinity making some noise in the top of the 5th inning. They're not going to go away quietly. Nice pitch, no balls and 2 strikes on Tugas. Hoffman gets the sign from catcher Maddie Lawson. Hard hit ball to the second baseman, fielded cleanly, a 4-3 put out. Nice play defensively by the second baseman from Cocoa, Kira Davis. The ball was hit well. Both runners move up 60 feet. Claire Connolly moves over to third. Allison Roach moves over to second. But now they're 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. The Holy Trinity Tigers down to their last out as Casey Cohen steps into the batter's box. Cohen 0 for 2 tonight. She picked up an RBI, the only RBI tonight for the Holy Trinity Tigers. She had an RBI in the first inning. She flew out to the center fielder in the 3rd inning. Pitch out of the zone. Hoffman trying to get Cohen to chase one. She did not. Holy Trinity with runners in scoring position, down 14-1 in the top of the 5th inning. Mackenzie Hoffman in the circle for the Cocoa Tigers. Here is the pitch. Well hit ball to right field. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score. They're going to bring the ball home, but the play is not close. So Casey Cohen with a 2 RBI single. Claire Connolly scores easily from 3rd base. Allison Roach scores from 2nd. The throw came home, but Cohen not able to advance to 2nd base. So it's a 14-3 Cocoa lead. Holy Trinity with a runner on first, 2 outs. Dominique Russo now steps into the batter's box. Hitting from the right side, pitch. That's actually Kelly Jenkins batting in place of Russo. So Jenkins is going to hit for the first time tonight for the Holy Trinity Tigers, swing and a miss. Quickly in a hole, 0-2. Mackenzie Hoffman gets the sign from Lawson. Here's the pitch. Foul down the 3rd base side. Still 2 strikes on Kelly Jenkins. Cocoa up 14-3. The Tigers from Holy Trinity have picked up a couple of runs in the top of inning number 5. Hoffman waiting patiently for Jenkins to get back into the batter's box. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Jenkins goes down, and the Holy Trinity Tigers go down. So the top of the 5th inning for Holy Trinity, they do pick up a couple of runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left. The final score of tonight's contest, the Cocoa Tigers 14, the Holy Trinity Tigers 3. A big district win tonight for the Cocoa Tigers. We're going to go over a couple of the highlights before we shut things down on this end. Abby Sullivan for the Tigers got a base hit and an RBI. She scored a couple of runs. Chelsea Miller was 3 for 4 tonight and had 4 RBIs. Myanna Robinson, a terrific job in the circle for the Cocoa Tigers. She pitched 4 innings, also picked up a base hit. Alyssa Murphy scores a run. Kayla Anderson, a big 2 RBI triple in the 3rd inning. She was 2 for 3 tonight. Corey Maxner reached base 3 times tonight. She was 2 for 3. Scored a couple of times. Allie Clemens was 1 for 3 tonight. She had an RBI, scored 2 runs. So it was a team effort, total team effort tonight by the Cocoa Tigers. Kira Davis had an RBI single. She reached base twice. She was 1 for 2. How about the game by catcher Maddie Lawson? She was 2 for 3, scored twice. Picking a Friday night locker room player of the game tonight is going to be a challenge big time. You're going to have to go to our Facebook page or Twitter tonight to find out who that's going to be. We're going to have to shut things down in just a few minutes. But once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Mike Urban Nissan Cadillac, Beef O'Brady's, Knutson Brain Spine Injury Law Office, Planet Fitness, Florida Master Temp, Owl's Trophy Shop, Space Coast Tire, Community Bank of the South, Custom Print Screen Printing, Barry Signs Incorporated, Jimmy's Restaurant, and DeCandio and Associates, Allstate Insurance. So for Orville Susong, who knows where he is, Zach Clark, Tom Palermo, punching all the right buttons at Sports Center, I'm Steve Wilson. We've been coming to you live from the Cocoa High School softball field. Final score of tonight's game, the Cocoa Tigers 14, the Holy Trinity Tigers 3. The next time you hear our voice will be Friday night. It'll be O'Galley at Rockledge baseball and Sebastian River at Melbourne softball. Both games can be heard live on SpaceCoastDaily.com. Please be safe this week, and we will talk to you Friday.